So, welcome back to the Theatres of Dreams podcast. This is the Football Club podcast brought to you by Ultra Community Media and Radio Alty. And with me, as usual, she's very, very reliable, is our Erin Beau-Carrol. How are you?
I'm great. Very good weekend of football. So we're very happy this week.
Yeah, you are happy. I have to say, I was happy at the weekend because I managed to make it down to the J Davison Stadium and saw Altrincham win 2-1 against Brackley Town. I had to say, I really, really enjoyed the match.
I must say, if we're going to win like that, I might keep away for a couple more weeks. If we're going to be performing like we did, it seemed like I missed a cracking game.
But it was a cracking game. But I mean, there was a good crowd there. I think just around about 2,000, and a really good atmosphere. But the football was good to watch. Really was good to watch. I enjoyed it.
I've heard good things about the performance. I mean, obviously we won 2-1. That's three wins on the spin now for Altrincham, a 1-0, another 1-0 and a 2-1. So maybe things are starting to look up for us now a little bit. We're starting to find the rhythm a little bit more.
Yeah, and Brackley Town, I think, were just below Alty in the league, so it was a tight game. And you were saying both Alty's goals came from set pieces.
They did, which for us, that never normally happens. So that was a rarity for us.
Two goals, Gale on the 8th minute, and then Crawford in the 48th, and then a late goal from Brackley Town, 6 minutes into the end of the second half, and a little bit of pressure, but it was all good at the end. Altrincham 2, Brackley Town 1. Now, Alty women were also in action, Erin, at the weekend, and they did okay.
Yeah, they won 9-1 against Sandbach to make it into the last eight of the Cheshire Women's Cup.
9-1.
They scored 8 goals in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Just the
Wow.
floodgates opened. It was a great game.
So that means now they're through to what level?
I think it's the quarter. I want to say it's the quarterfinals of the Cheshire Cup. So we could the draw's pretty much happening soon. So I think we'll end up with a good run out of that, which is always nice to see.
Very good, really good. Now, we've got to talk about it, but I don't really want to. In the WSL at the weekend, there was a derby
There
involved
was.
two Manchester clubs. This is the Women's Super League, of course, and it was City 3, United nil, and
Mhm.
3-0 at half time. Aaron, this was done and dusted.
It was. It really was. I mean, I was there with a few friends. It was absolutely incredible. I mean, we said beforehand, the first thing City need to do out of this is just start quick. We can't allow United to put any pressure on us, otherwise we'll crumble. We didn't let that happen. And yeah, just it was done and dusted by half time. United had no shots on targets in 100 minutes of football. City kept them that quiet.
Really?
Hmm.
Wow, that's not typical of United either, is it?
No. No, United have also the United conceding three in a game isn't heard of. I mean, United have got one of the best defenses in the league. Well, it
Mm.
was up
Yeah.
until Saturday afternoon.
Oh, anyway, there's always next week. In the Super League, on Sunday, it was Lionesses continued their good run, didn't they? Beating Villa 3-1.
Yeah, they did. I mean, London City have had a really good season for themselves so far, and to beat Aston Villa 3-1 was nothing short of remarkable, and that really shakes things up in the table. I think it is now London City Lionesses have won more games this season than European champions Arsenal.
Well, they drew 0-0 with Tottenham Hotspur as and on the same day, and finished off. West Ham beat Everton 3-1 at the WSL. Liverpool drew with Chelsea 1-1. Brighton Hove Albion 4-1 against Leicester City. That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite a big one. Brighton have had sort of a mixed season so far. They've obviously just lost striker as well, Michelle Adjumang, to an ACL injury a few weeks ago on internationals. But I think the surprising one out of that for the games of the weekend wasn't the derby games. It was more Liverpool-Chelsea. City really needed Liverpool to do us a favour, and thank you to ex-manager Gareth Taylor. He did just that and drew and took Chelsea 2 points away from them, which was always nice to see.
Now this just turn to the UEFA World Cup qualifiers, and I have to say I feel absolutely useless because I can't tell what's going on at all in this competition. I'm all over the place, which is not unusual for me. Have you watched any of the internationals at all?
I watched a bit. I watched a bit of Scotland Denmark last night, which I've got to say was arguably the most remarkable game of international football I think I've ever seen. It's incredible.
Where
So,
did
so good
Scotland?
to watch.
Wow, I mean the Scottish goals were worldly. Scott McTominay's overhead kick whoa, was a
He's
thing of
he's just
beauty.
continuing. He's just continuing that good run of form, isn't he? I mean, we've often said in this that players when they leave sort of United, he's gone to Napoli. He's done well for himself. He's got himself back in the Scotland team, and he's doing so well for himself. I think they've changed his position a bit, haven't they? Because I remember for you, he was played more of a. Am I right in saying he played more of a defensive role at
Well,
United?
he sort of played a bit of like a sweeper midfield player, and he could be box to box at times, but he sort of played, I think, a little bit deeper in a sweeper type role.
Yeah, but then also he's playing a more attacking role
Really is.
for Napoli, and Scotland have utilised that. And to do that in a game where you know that the whole of your country is on your back to qualify for the World Cup in the first in 27 years, to have the audacity to even try that is
Oh,
remarkable. And for it to pay off the way it did, I
I
mean,
mean,
that's how could you pick a goal of a game out
but
of that? I don't know.
do you think it's because it happened in the third minute? It was just instinctive because you're just like boom. It was the first bit of play, but even at that, just to think to do it,
To do that.
at that game, and something that's really as important as that. It's quite. It was like it was like playing. It was like playing FIFA.
Yeah.
On the Xbox.
Mhm.
You
It
just don't
was.
expect Scotland to play like that.
No, I mean, to be fair, I didn't know which way that game was going to go because it was so chaotic. I mean, Denmark leveled through what was controversial, very controversial penalty
Right.
because it seemed more like it had
Oh,
come outside the box. But obviously, they adjourn if it's on the line that it's a penalty. So Robertson gave away a penalty. Denmark capitalised.
yes.
Scotland, Scotland scored from a corner, and then Denmark scored through Patrick Dorgu just a few minutes later, and it
Ali
looked.
Duncan.
Yeah, I think Denmark. They went go and celebrate with the fans, and then it was just added time, wasn't it? I mean,
90
football is a
plus 3 and
beautiful
90 plus
game.
2. And Denmark had Christensen sent off in the 61st minute, which may have helped as well. But I mean, I have to say, the World Cup will benefit from having the Scots there, won't it?
Of course, the vibes will be immaculate. The vibes
Absolutely
will be
immaculate.
immaculate.
So as it stands, England are through, Scotland are through. Northern Ireland have to qualify. I think it's next week, or they're into the playoffs, if you like.
I
I believe.
think they are. I think
And
it's a weird one because obviously in the qualifiers you finish third,
yes,
which obviously knocks you out of that. But it's something to do with the Nations League because you're
yes,
top of your group in the Nations League, you can still qualify another way.
it's really quite strange. And I think do Wales go through? They beat North Macedonia 7-1 last night,
No, they don't go through automatically because they would have needed Belgium to lose to Liechtenstein last
and
night, and Belgium
They
won
lost. They won
7-0.
7-0. Yeah. So
So
so that
they'll go to
means
the playoffs.
they're in the playoffs as well. But there's still a chance to get all four nations. Because the Republic, did they go through?
They went through to the playoffs because I don't know. Troy Parrott scored a remarkable hat trick against Hungary, and I've watched that back, and it's incredible, and just the celebrations are something else for that.
But just to have England and Scotland there anyway, I mean, obviously, I want Northern Ireland to be there, and there's still a chance, but quite incredible. But I got to say, the goals last night from Scotland were just like, you just sort of like, what it makes you realize is that maybe the fact that you've got so many players playing in different leagues, like McTominay playing, it's rubbing off, if you like.
Yeah, I could see that, but I think the way that they all play together, I think, as Steve Clark said in his post-match yesterday, he could feel the whole weight of the country on his shoulders, and to do what they did last night, he said he just felt the whole world had come off his shoulders. I mean, he's made history as well. I think it's the first one to lead into three major tournaments as a manager. And yeah, I think he's changed history there, and I think the way that he's influenced the Scottish national team to play and the mix of different players they've got in that squad. I mean, you look at one of them that scored last night, I think it's Grant Hanley, plays for Norwich, so he's championship. Scot McTominay at Napoli, Kieran Tierney, I'm sure he was at somewhere in Spain last season. I think he's
Yeah.
back in
Used to be,
Scotland playing for Celtic now.
was he, did he play for Arsenal at one stage or is that somebody else?
Yes, he did play for Arsenal, and then everything sort of went a bit downhill with injuries. And I think he said it was mentioned that he probably wouldn't have played 90 minutes yesterday and to last as long as he did and to score the goal that probably sent them on the way was really, really nice.
Well, I have to say, I'm still smiling after seeing Scott McTominay's goal, and actually the other Scottish goals, really good performance. Tonight, it's more Women's Champions League action. Manchester United play Wolfsburg in not so long to go, quarter to six tonight. That's a good tie. Arsenal Madrid at 8 o'clock's a big game, isn't it?
It is. That'll be interesting because Arsenal really need to get in gear this season. I mean, obviously we spoke about the Champions League on last episode. They played Bayern Munich. Arsenal, Rod, were 2-0 up at half time in that game. Absolutely cruising it. Bayern Munich couldn't get it. I don't know what on earth was said in that dressing room at half time, but Bayern Munich came out and I text my mate. Me and my mate have this thing where we'll watch it together and we'll sort of text each other throughout the game and see how we're getting on. And I said to Caroline, I said, look, I can see Bayern Munich going on to win it. They just need to get one back and that'll propel them. And they did. Arsenal just lacked so much second half. But I think if they do that again tonight against Madrid, Madrid will punish them, especially Caroline, where she's an incredible footballer.
No, I'm looking at the Champions League games for tomorrow night, but I don't see City playing. Why is that? Where have they played?
No, we don't qualify for that one. We didn't
Do you
qualify for
not?
Champions League. No, so the way it works with the Champions League and the Women's Super League is the first place in the Women's Super League goes into the group stage automatically. Second and third place have to play qualifiers to get in, and fourth just about misses out. And we only finished, I think it was a point behind you last season.
Right.
We needed to beat you at Old Trafford in
I,
May, and we didn't.
I wasn't actually trying to wind you up. It was genuine. I wasn't quite sure. I just assumed you would be
No,
there. So it's
we didn't qualify.
Chelsea versus Barcelona. That's a tidy tie like tomorrow night, isn't it?
It is. I mean, this is like the 10th or 12th time I'm sure they've played each other. They've played each other nearly every season of the last couple of years. But the thing that really makes you laugh is they played each other in the semi-final last season of the competition, and it's over two legs, and it was a ridiculous scoreline. But which way do you think that would have gone last year?
I'm just the way you said that. I'm gonna assume that Chelsea won.
Nope. Chelsea got beaten 8-2 on aggregate in that game. Over the two
Really?
legs, they were battered. At home, Chelsea were beaten 4-1 by Barcelona at Stamford Bridge. And in the return fixture at the Estadio Johan Cruyff in Barcelona, they were beaten 4-1. They were
Wow.
beaten 4-1 across both legs. So it'll be hope Chelsea will be wanting revenge in that one, but with
Hmm.
Barcelona, I don't see it happening.
Interesting. This turned to the weekends football because normality is returning. Thank goodness. I gotta say, I've
Oh,
really
thank God.
struggled. I know. It's a madness,
Thank
isn't it?
God.
Thank God. So in the Premier League on Saturday, the lunchtime game is Burnley Chelsea. Tough game for Burnley, isn't it? Is that Scott's Parker against his old team?
I think so. Yeah, I want to say that it is.
Yeah, I think it is actually. That's a tough. It could be a good game that. And there's a 4 or 5 3 o'clocks is a bit uncanny. Pick the ties. I'm gonna say, what do you think? Maybe Liverpool Forest. That could be interesting.
I would have said that. Yeah, I mean, you look at the fixtures on that day. Forest are doing all right for themselves at the moment. I mean, obviously Sean Dyche has come in and he seemed to have revolutionised them. And do you know what? Fair play to him. I think he's one of them managers that will go in and he knows what he's got to do. He'll have that target set and he'll say, "You need to do this. You need to do that. We need to do this. This is what we're going to do,
Yeah,
and this is
very
why we're going to
methodical.
do it." He is, isn't
Very
he?
methodical. Yeah.
I, I actually listened to I want to say it was I went to something at Altrincham Football Club a few weeks ago and it was one of the ex-Burnley directors that was speaking at this event And he gave us a bit of an insight to Sean Dyche. She's got a real personality, but if he needs to do something, he will go to any lengths to get it done, no matter how hard it is. But with Forest doing well for themselves, you look at that and you think Liverpool need to get a result out of that because they're still on a poor run of form. I mean, before going into international break, having been, I'm going to say, demolished by Manchester City, who absolutely ran them ragged, they're going to want to come out and say, look, oh, maybe we're not in this poor run of form anymore. But Forest are going to put up a good fight, and that'll be an interesting game.
You sense Forest might not sit back, but defend quite a lot. Let Liverpool try to hit them a little bit. Well, you don't know, do you? Because you sort of think if Forest get at them and undermine them and give them, give them a bit of a jerk, then their confidence will go a little bit. It's an intriguing game. Another intriguing game is the tea time on the telly game because it's a toughie for Newcastle United and a manager who's under some pressure as they face City at home at 5:30.
Yeah, that'll be another interesting one. I don't think City will be wanting to slip up there, but St James's Park is notoriously quite a hard ground for us to play at. We haven't got many wins there in the last few seasons. Everything's been a bit poor there, but I think Eddie Howe's really got a point to prove. I mean, they're not having a good season by any means at all
No.
this year. There's a lot has gone wrong for them. But I think as well, City will want to capitalise on that as much as possible in the fight because I think we can go within 1 point of Arsenal should we win that,
And
depending on results.
I'm just saying here that Newcastle United have just won one in their last 35 Premier League meetings against Manchester City. And that
Mm,
was 2019 back when they were managed by Rafael Benitez. City have won
remember that.
12 Premier League away games against Newcastle as their joint most away victories against an opponent in the competition.
Wow.
So you have good form there, and they don't have good form against you. And you've scored in each of your last 33 Premier League games against Newcastle. So you got to say the weight of favour goes towards the blue side again in that match. Eddie Howe needs some sort of result from that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, obviously they're sitting in 14th at the moment. And you look at, I mean, if you look at any of that in the bottom half of the table from relegation onwards, it's so scrappy. You
So
drop
tight.
points, you drop. So like, let's say if you're Everton in 13th, if you drop points and someone below you gets points, you go from like 15th to 17th in a matter of
Well,
weeks. It's
well,
incredible.
they lose that game, and likes of West Ham and Burnley win it. They go, within a point of maybe the going into the bottom three. Not that that's game over, but it just
No.
adds to the pressure that Steady Eddie is under. This drop down to our beloved Alty. They are on the road of the weekend. They're down at Southend United. What do you think about this game?
This is going to be a very, very tough game for Altrincham. I mean, obviously, the results and stuff is going in our favour at the moment. We've climbed out from sort of 19th to 13th, and obviously, we're now currently sitting 7 points clear of that relegation zone, which for us is massive. And we're actually not that far off top 10. I think we're only 3 points off, 4 points off top 10 now, which is. To be fair to Neil Gibson, deserves all the credit in the world for what he's doing. He's come in at a really tough time for the club, a really unsteady bit of form with obviously losing consecutive games, having not won for nearly a month. He's come in at a really bad time. He's done a really good job. And I think Southend are currently sitting in the playoffs on 32 points. I feel like that's going to be quite an entertaining game. And I think Altrincham have had a bit of decent luck down there. But I think the last time we played, we lost there. But I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, if we could put out a performance like we did against Brackley on Saturday, things might just work out for us.
I gotta say, it's been a while since I've been down at the J Davison, and the quality of the football was really, really good. It was on the deck, and the pitch helps. The pitch is immaculate at the moment, Aaron.
It is. It's looking good, isn't it? I mean, if you look at it this time last year or the year before, we'd have had consecutive games rained off and rained off and rained off, but we didn't. I mean, you looked at the absolute downpour on Friday. I don't think it stopped raining for more than 5 minutes
Mm.
before it was the next lot. But I think you look at it, the pitch and the volunteers that have worked on it for so long deserve all the credit in
Fantastic.
the world for it.
Really, really good, and it allows Alty to play their kind of football. But I thought the football was really good on Saturday, and as I say, a good atmosphere. It's well worth going down to the J Davis, and if you get a chance, going
Absolutely.
down 20 quid, you're in as an adult, and you also can get a pint as well at full time, and a nice pie, a very nice pie. All right. Any other games on Saturday that got your attention?
National League wise, I think there is definitely a couple. I mean, I'm just looking at the table now, and I think there'd be a few interesting ones. I'm not quite sure who Rochdale have got this weekend. They've got
Rochdale playing
Tamworth this
Tamworth.
weekend. So that top of the table race is really tight as well. You look at the National League table, Forest Green first on 41, Rochdale second with 40, Carlisle in third also on 40, sorry, and York City in fourth on
Right.
39. Them top four are going to be scrapping it out, and it's going to be an incredible promotion race.
It really is. It's very, very tight in that competition, I gotta say. Let's move to Sunday, and there's two games in the Premier League. Leeds United, Villa. This is an interesting game, actually, because you would think the Villa would be favourites there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely Villa would be my favourites for that one. But I think Leeds have, again, they've not had a very good season. So I think, again, they just need to start winning a couple of games and maybe things will turn in their favour. But I would back Villa to win that 100%.
Yeah, and Leeds currently sitting 16th in the table with 11 points, and Villa at 18 points. There's a bit of space between them, and then it's the London Derby. My goodness, there's so many London derbies, but it is the Arsenal, the Gunners versus the Hotspurs. It's a 4:30, of course, live and Sky game.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, top the table versus where are Tottenham? Tottenham,
Fifth.
oh, Tottenham are fifth. Yeah, okay, but there's eight points between them, isn't there? That's a big gap.
I'm really hoping out of that one for a Spurs win. I really, really do. And obviously, Spurs can't leapfrog us should they win that, which, as a City fan, you're going to be looking at. Who do you really want to win that?
You see, I want an Arsenal win, but that's obvious, you know.
No,
I do. I really
no.
want an Arsenal one because that means that if we get a good result on Monday night, that puts us possibly ahead of Tottenham. You know, so it's funny, isn't it? You want one thing, I want another, but that's our allegiances. And then there is Monday night football. I will be at Old Trafford for Manchester United versus Everton. This is Moisey, isn't he? Moisey's back.
Moyes, he's back at Old Trafford.
Yeah. He has a bit of luck there, actually. He really
He
has a bit of
does.
luck. And Edward, there were Everton sitting at the moment. Everton are 13th in the table with 15 points. United are 18 points and 7th in the table. Anything else grab your attention this week at all?
Yes, so Sunday, just going sort of back to our women's side, they're playing in the FA Cup second round proper. They have never been past the second round qualifying in the competition until this year. So we've got a big game coming up against Ponteland United in Newcastle. I think we are leaving at half 8, half 7, half 8 in the morning, I want to say. I'm making the 3.5 hour journey up to the northeast for that one on the Sunday. So this
Wow. Okay.
this
Yeah,
should be
Pontyland.
entertaining.
Pontyland United. There's a
What a
mouthful, isn't it?
name.
I know what a
What a
name. Pontyland.
name.
It's like some. It sounds a little bit like a children's nursery rhyme type, or
Oh, it does actually, doesn't it?
Pont Pontyland United. So
hmm
whereabouts is Pontyland?
It's in Newcastle. It's sort of like the far side of Newcastle,
Okay,
is what I
okay,
would
okay.
say. It's
So
just
you're heading
a
up there,
long
are you?
journey. I am indeed. I'm covering on social media, so any Twitter updates off the women's club Twitter will be me doing it.
And is that game going to be live in Radio Alty?
It is indeed. We have commentators travelling up as well,
There you
and
go.
credit to the club as well. They're putting on a coach that's taking us up there for free of charge.
Very good, very good. We like
We
we
like
like
that.
our women's football. We like football on this station, and just I was noticing that Hansi Flick was being very complimentary towards Marcus Rashford and how he's getting on at Barcelona. He's definitely enjoying himself there, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, he deserves the credit he's getting for the season he's having at Barcelona. He seems to have got his spark back, doesn't he?
He
after
has.
going on loan there. But as well, he had a good performance for England the other day. I'm 90% sure he got an assist for one of the goals in the Albania game, and he deserves the credit he's getting off his manager. He's done a very good job.
Well, and did you see this thing about England players wearing what they're calling mind-altering shoes at all?
I have seen this, and I think it's really, really weird. But it's so strange, isn't it, when you look at that and you're like, what? How
So,
can a pair of shoes be mind altering?
well, I don't know. They're made by Nike apparently, and they've been designed with neuroscience in mind, and
Okay.
they're called the Mind One and Mind Two, and apparently Nike have spent more than 10 years developing these things.
If
Um,
that's the case, I might need a pair of them myself.
Well, do you know, I actually, if they're mind altering, I think I might get a pair. And apparently they have 12 small nodes on each sole. And Nike apparently has a mind science department, which is tasked with unlocking a completely new category of products and services to athletes to better help them prepare, train, compete, and recover. But I mean, what is it that it's yeah, they've got these nodes that are on the bottom. Your man Holland, Holland's been wearing them too.
Yeah.
Um, I
I'm
don't get it. I don't get
I'm
it.
j- I'm just looking at it, and apparently, so it's a new type of shoe designed to help athletes with mindset pre and post competition. So it's the first neuroscience-based footwear from Nike that tap into the mind-body connection by activating sensory receptors in the feet, which is why they've got these little nodules on the soles. And just looking at them, they look so daft.
Oh,
It's
they do, don't
untrue.
they? They look like Teletubby
They do.
shoes, you
I
know?
don't know if you've ever seen these as well. The weird type of trainer that everyone was obsessed with, like they go for loads of money. Yeezy foam runners. If you look them up and look at them, they look like the same
Well,
type of model. It's so strange.
I'm looking at the photograph of Erling Haaland, and he looks like he's wearing Crocs.
It does.
But that his body's made out of, I mean, it looks like his body's made out of lead, and then he's got this head poking out. It's really bizarre, but there you go. So mind altering new century footwear, and apparently it reawakens the foot, the body, and the mind. You know what? I think, Erin, I think my Christmas present list is now complete. I
Yeah.
know what I'm gonna have. You know.
Just a pair of those shoes.
It's just a pair of those shoes. And Nike, if you want to maybe let us, try them out for you, we could do a product. We can do a product
A product
placement.
review.
Yeah, we
We
do a
could.
product review. Yeah, there you go. I think that's it actually for today's show. It's a bit of a shorter one, but there's been less football. I enjoy your trip up to Newcastle,
I will indeed.
and this
Will
hope for a
indeed.
win on the road.
Exciting time. If they
Uh,
win, they could be facing a women's championship side below, so the tier below the WSL. They come
oh.
in the third round.
There you go. Well, we'll find out about that next week on the Theatres of Dreams podcast. You've been listening to Erin Beau-Carrol of Radio Robbins at Radio Alty, and Rob Maxwell will be back again next week. Erin, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.